And welcome to the Destiny Nerds podcast, episode 31. I'm turning my fan off. What is up, everybody? I'm Bearded Luke, and I'm pumped because number one, I have changed places. This is not where we usually are. And number two, I have COVID, which is not pumped about, but I have it. So, hey,
you're doing well.
I'm pumped because I'm doing fine. I'm alive. We're doing good. Maddox, what's up, bro? Welcome.
Dude, happy to be here. I'm happy to see you in a different backdrop as well too. You look good.
Yeah, I just went and got the camera like 5 seconds ago and like there's literally just junk back there. I have to tidy it up. There's a lot. This is gonna be this isn't even my main camera. This is gonna be an ever-changing space. And if you're listening to this, just go watch on YouTube if I remember to upload it, and then you can actually see what it looks like. Yo, but I'm pumped. I'm pumped because we have a really, really, really cool guest today. This cool. Yeah, this is a really cool guest. I've been watching Riverdale season 4, and Archie is on that, and he has specific colored red hair, and our guest has beautiful red locks, and his name is DemonJoeFrance. Welcome, bro. Welcome to the podcast.
What can I say, bro? The ginger locks, man, they get people going crazy every time. It is what it is, dude.
You look cool.
We're happy to have you. Thank you for being on here.
I do look cool. I'm glad you think that.
You do. Well,
we love the confidence.
My favorite part about this specific moment is a week ago, whenever we were at the end of last week's podcast, Maddox was like, and next week's guest is DemonJoeFrance. I'm like, I don't freaking know who that is. I'm pumped to finally meet someone new.
Wow. I just got egoed, bro.
Hey, you won't listen. We couldn't hear us, of course, but when we were muted, I will call him out real quick.
Oh, do it.
I was like, I'm not even following Bearded Luke on Twitter. What the hell?
I just got followed by a famous partnered Twitch streamer. This is crazy.
Dude.
It's the biggest night of my life.
You guys are both just egoing each other, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's meant to be, I guess.
There's just so many creators in the world. It's tough to figure out who everybody is. So I get personally excited when there's someone new that I don't know a lot about, because then I can ask a million questions about you while we're on this podcast about Destiny, which is awesome.
I got a million answers, man.
And now we're gonna be friends for life, because this is kind of how it works. Like
Dude, absolutely, bro.
Like I kiss the homies goodnight.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want to feel your beard on me. You know what I mean? Like,
Luke's about to start kissing the homies goodnight. I've never heard you say that before.
Dude, it's because I'm on the podcast, dude. Everything's changed.
You're doing
now.
something weird to him, Joe. You gotta calm down.
Bro, it's the ginger locks. What can I say?
Man's been stuck in that room for
freaking been in this room for days, bro. Like, I can literally
goodness.
Watch this. I can pull my bed up. This is my bed.
That's hilarious.
I've been sleeping there. Do my thing. Keeping the world
Yeah.
safe by not going out there. But
smart man. Joe, we'd love to hear about you. Give us a little snippet who you are, where you came from, what you do, your middle name, all that good stuff.
All right. I mean, first things first. It's your boy. So I come from, at least content creation wise, I actually started content creation on Destiny. My whole journey with Destiny goes back to Destiny's Alpha. Always try to remind people of that. Alpha veteran right here.
Nice.
You know, I got the biggest EP on the internet.
it's huge.
Played Destiny 1, played its alpha. I first started YouTube when I was like 13 years old, so I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I just know that I like Destiny, so I just posted a bunch of random videos about it. And I first started posting videos like 2013, 2014 during vanilla. I guess that'd be, it's 2014. During vanilla Destiny, and I ended up posting videos about it all the way up until Curse of Osiris Destiny 2. And you can probably imagine why the uploads for Destiny stopped after Curse of Osiris. I'll just let that be up to the audience as to why that happened. Went off on a variety tangent for a while. Then this very little known game at the time. At the time, Fortnite, became a thing. And So I had already, little known fact, I had already bought Fortnite. So this is before Battle Royale came out. It used to be a PvE game first, this zombie tower defense kind of game. And I owned it before Battle Royale ever came out, because I always liked I love zombies. It's something I've always liked as a kid. And I was like, yo, it's a good looking zombie game, blah, blah, blah. Played it for a little bit, kind of fell off, didn't really play it all that much. And then as time went on, Battle Royale came out, started enjoying BR. And then I kind of got sucked back into the PvE version of the game, which later, instead of being called Fortnite, just got called Save the World. And I actually made videos on that game for 2.5 years. Got like a following of like 25K on Twitch, got partnered on Twitch, got 100K on YouTube, like,
Wow.
All this kind of stuff during that era. There just wasn't many people making videos on PvE Fortnite, so it was a pond with not that many fish in it. So, for the people that did cover it, you always got a lot of eyes on you. I was friends with a lot of the big Fortnite creators and stuff, and just covered the PvE game for a while. Then Epic Games came out with a post. They basically said, hey, we're going to cut support on the game. See you later. I was like, okay, that kind of sucks because I really like the game, I'll be honest. I know a lot of people meme on Fortnite, and even I meme on Fortnite, but the PvE version of the game was like genuinely something special, but it wasn't ever properly developed. And so eventually they just cut the cord with the game. And so I was like, well, damn, like, I do content creation full time. This is a problem.
Yeah, that sucks.
I need to figure out, what am I gonna do, right? Obviously, as I said earlier, I got a lot of experience with Destiny, and I played the game religiously, thousands and thousands of hours from the alpha all the way to Destiny 2: Curse of Osiris. So I was like, hey, I'll go back and check out Destiny. Came back in Season of the Worthy and played, leveled up my season pass, was kind of catching up on some things. And I didn't like Worthy. I'm sure a lot of people didn't like Worthy. And Season of Arrivals came out. It genuinely impressed me. That's whenever they came out with a 3-year long roadmap. They were talking about Beyond Light. Then they talked about, Witch Queen and then Lightfall. And this was before they confirmed a 4th DLC. But I was like, yo, that's a 3-year long roadmap. The content creator in me was like, dude, that's 3 year guaranteed 3 years that I can come back to this game and create content on it. Bungie left Activision, so I was like, hopefully we're not going to get any more rushed releases like Destiny 1 vanilla and Destiny 2 vanilla, and
right,
obviously they did end up delaying Witch Queen, which hopefully pays off. But so I was like, yo, that's awesome. Arrivals was a really good season. So what I ended up doing, I put out a video. I was like, hey, I'm going to stop covering Fortnite. Obviously, as a creator, I can't keep doing this. Epic Games cut support for the game. And then my next video was a starter guide for Season of Arrivals. And it took about 9 months, and it was a rough 9 months to basically build a community again. Like, it was bad, constantly getting people in the comment section, hey man, your videos are trash, go back to Fortnite, or I'm unsubscribing, or yada, this and that. And dude, mental health, man, all-time low around that time. I'm just gonna keep it honest.
Sure.
It was bad. Season of the Chosen started though, and that's when I started kind of getting a little bit of recognition. I started building some people up on YouTube. People started finding my content more and more. And then Season of the Splicer came, and just kind of like an explosion. It was like, hey, man, here's like thousands and thousands and thousands of subs and a bunch of new viewers. And I'm making videos for like tens of hundreds of thousands of people now, which just kind of came out of nowhere. And, it literally, like, Season of the Splicer specifically, like, revived my channel. And, like, I gotten to meet Above. Obviously, I've gotten to meet you guys through Above. Above is a big part of this whole story. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know who you guys are. I wouldn't be on this podcast. I would have never met Don or Average Maddie or Evan or any of those guys in the Destiny community. He literally invited me to GMG during Chosen and, like, opened the gateway for me to, like, get in this community and, like, talk to people and kind of get to know other people and other creators. And I'm extremely thankful for that. And that combined with the fact that Season of the Splicer delivered in terms of the kind of content that it had, at least, for a month and a half to 2 months, and I kind of found my niche around that time as well. Channel's been really well, man, and so here we are. just like a week and a half away from the new season, man. And I'm on your guys' podcast, just hanging out. So there's a little bit of a story right there.
Dude,
Dude, that was fantastic. Like you
For
gave
real.
us the whole rundown.
That's amazing, dude.
Dude, I give you all the lore. You guys are chroniclers at this
We
point.
got the whole Demon Joe France lore.
That's
the
what I like
whole
to hear.
lore book, dude.
Bro, that's sick.
Everything.
I'm mad that I hadn't found you since before this. It makes me really mad because it sounds like you had a cool journey. Well, I guess we're gonna be friends now, so we can actually play. But
Dude, we're best friends now.
yeah, that's true.
Don't
We're
forget
best.
it.
It's great, dude. What
Literally
is up?
besties.
What is up with these obtained people being like
Dude,
all of our
we've
friends?
I think we've honestly had just about everybody from Obtained.
Are
on
you
our
in
podcast
Obtained?
so far?
I'm not an obtained.
But
I'm just
you
friends
got
with
named
everyone in
already.
Obtained.
That's how we are
You
too.
named a lot of them.
We're like really good
Yeah.
friends with all these dudes,
Well,
but
that's because above big part of Obtained, and so he just introduced me to a bunch of everyone else that's in the clan. But I'm not part of Obtained, but I hang out and talk with a lot of people there pretty much every single week at this point.
that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, they're good. That's a good group of people. I love them to death.
I just
hell yeah, man.
I was just looking up your YouTube like as we were talking, just to look, and it's sick. Like, dude, you make a lot of freaking content on there. That's awesome. Man, I usually ask like 5,000 questions during this, which you answered a bunch of my questions, but I do want to know where your name came from.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get a bonus lore
Yes.
book in here.
Ooh.
I got a command on my channel, dude. I
Chapter
get
2.
people chapter 2, bro. I got a command on my channel. I got people always in the comment section asking me, and it's like, well, what's the crazy story behind this elaborate three compound word name, DemonJoeFrance? Where does it come from? It dates all the way back to when I was 10 years old.
Oh no.
And yep. So you guys are honestly gonna wish that this was my name, because this is the original DemonJoeFrance name, because it's had some evolution. All right. So I have always loved Minecraft. Maddox, I was streaming Minecraft today with Don.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm 21 years old. I don't give a shit. It's one of my favorite. Am I allowed to cuss?
You're 21. You are young.
I am 21.
Gosh, I feel like an
I
old
am allowed to
fart.
cuss. Just
Yeah,
for
cuss your
okay.
life away. I don't care.
I just want to make sure, because I'm just
Cuss
I'm
your
a-
heart's desire.
I'm the guest, or I'm trying to be polite.
Appreciate
Listen, I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. Minecraft is my favorite game of all time. I would take it over Destiny. I would take it over Halo. I would take it over anything. All right. Minecraft is the game, the ultimate sandbox game. Do whatever you want. I love it. Grew up playing it, still play it to this day. Great thing to spend free time on. But back in the day, 10-year-old Joe got a Toshiba laptop for Christmas from his grandfather. And, what are you going to do with a laptop? Well, one, you're going to go on sites you shouldn't. But two, you're going to download Minecraft, right? Because
Right.
that's just the obvious thing to do as a 10-year-old when you get a computer. I mean, nowadays kids play Roblox, but for me, it was Minecraft. I wanted to play Minecraft. So we're sitting there, this is after Christmas and stuff. Me and my dad are chilling, and he's helping me set up the computer and everything. We download Minecraft, and we're trying to figure out a name for my Minecraft account. And at the time, I grew up playing PlayStation 2. That was my first console. Went to Xbox 360, then went to PS3, then PS4, and then bought an Xbox One later so I could play Halo. But so I wanted to keep my name separate from everything else. I wanted a unique Minecraft name. Didn't want it to be like anything on Xbox or PlayStation. So we were just trying to think of something, and I couldn't think of anything. So my dad's like, you know what? He's like, what if we took something that was like really cool and then something that was really stupid and just like combined them into one name? And he just said, you know what? Your name is going to be Demon Toe. And it's just demon and then toe, like on your foot, just a demonic toe. That was my name, Demon Toe.
Demon Toe.
That's what it was. That's my Minecraft name. You saw me on a server, Demon Toe above my head. That's what it was. And that was my Minecraft username for like half a decade. Well, nah, it was probably for the next like 3-4 years or so.
That's hilarious.
Fast forward to 2013, late 2013, early 2014. I'm like, for that Christmas, I ended up getting an Elgato, because I played on console at the time. So I got an Elgato capture card. I got a Blue Yeti microphone, which actually I still have the original mic somewhere in my office. I don't know where it is because I replaced it with this. But I ended up getting a bunch of equipment because, obviously as a kid, you're looking up to these content creators on YouTube and you're like, I want to make videos. I want to do that too. That seems like fun. So I get all this content creation stuff and I'm trying to figure out, what's my name going to be? Cause for a while I actually did Twitch before I did YouTube and whatnot. But, it was around the time where, I wanted to do some live stream stuff and I wanted to post some highlights on YouTube. So I'm like, well, what's my name going to be? Cause I don't have a Twitch account. I don't have a YouTube account. I don't have any of that. So I took the Demon Toe name from old, the classic right there. Kept the demon part. My name is Joey or Joseph or Joe, whatever you want to call me, but Joey is what everybody calls me in person. So I just took, my first name. So instead of Demon Toe, it'd be Demon Joe. And then I always wanted to have 3 syllables. If I were to shorten my name, I always wanted 3 syllables. So, you see other content creators like the Bajan Canadian or the Diamond Minecart, like these Minecraft YouTubers and stuff, where you can shorten their name into 3 letters. And so my family's lineage actually comes mainly from France. My great-grandfather was a full-blooded Frenchman, immigrated to Quebec, Canada, then later immigrated to America, got with an American lady, had my grandfather, and had my dad, had me. So I was like, yo, all right, so DemonJoeFrance, because that's a big part. I mean, America's a melting pot, but I'd say out of, all the other nationalities, French is probably the biggest one. And so I don't know French. I've never been to France. I don't know if I want to go to France, but I just slapped that on my name because I was like, there's no shot anyone in the world is going to have this name. There might be some people out there with Demon Joe. They ain't going to be a DemonJoeFrance, though. So... Thanks. And that also checks the box for the 3-letter syllable. DJF, dude. Had to do it.
There you go.
Had to do it, man.
You heard it here.
You heard it here. Clip that and put it on YouTube.
That is the whole lore
that
book. So just
chapter 2 of the DemonJoeFrance audiobook.
Dude. Now on Amazon Prime, if you guys want,
yes, Twitch Prime, dude,
yes, sir.
There is a guy named, you know what it reminded me of? JoeFrance, not France, but Franz is a filmmaker who used to make stuff make videos with Bam Margera, like Viva La Bam, like that was like. Did you watch any of that stuff like Jackass or?
You talking about Jackass, yeah.
So one of the dudes who made some stuff, his name was JoeFrance. His name's still, he's not dead. His name's still JoeFrance. And it reminded me, I was like, maybe that has something to do with it, but nope, I was wrong. Well, dude, we're pumped to have you. We're pumped to have you here today.
Dude, I'm pumped to be here, my guy.
It's freaking,
seriously, like I said, I love podcasts, man. So I love being invited to these things, and you guys are like some chill homies. So
here's what I've discovered so far is you give a shit, and you like talking about it as well too. So that's why I'm happy to have you, because it sounds like we're gonna have a great conversation, especially about Destiny in general. So
dude, I give all of the shits. Like they're gone. They're not here. They've been given away. So
there you go.
Absolutely.
One question for you, because a little bit more of a, I guess, on the personal side. Are you into working out and stuff? Because I see you're wearing a Gymshark shirt and stuff.
Yeah. So here, chapter 3.
Show us your abs.
Chapter 3.
It's not gonna be long. It's not gonna be long. I promise. It's not gonna be long.
The epilogue. Here we go.
Yeah, the epilogue, dude. Let's just strap in. Here it comes. Whenever I was younger, your boy had the biggest man titties in the world. Like, envision me now, but envision me with like some big honkers. All right, it was insane.
You should get them back. Belly, I wish that they were here.
Dude, listen, I used to be pretty overweight. Especially through school and everything like that. It was around sophomore year. I joined the basketball team with a couple buddies because, hey, I'm ass at sports, but my friends were on there, and I was like, yo, I want to spend time with my friends, even if it's at practice, and I sit on the bench or whatever. By the way, scored 3 baskets that year. I'm insane.
Let's go.
I was cracked. All right. Mainly, my defense was good. Okay, everybody knew me for my D, but
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, they did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I went to a Christian high school, so it's kind of weird.
They get weird. It's weirder at Christian high schools.
Yeah, I mean, Anyways, by the end of basketball season, I had lost 20 pounds that season. Keep in mind, this is without me trying to lose weight. I still ate whatever I wanted or anything like that. It's just my time was taken up on certain days because I'm practicing, I'm going to games, yada, yada. I'm not sitting there playing, Halo 3 and cursing people out on Xbox Live. So, I'm actually doing something. I'm actually getting up and doing things. So I was like, man, I lost 20 pounds. I wasn't even trying. I was like, imagine what I could do if I actually tried. So that's what I did. After basketball season and going into the summer, I would run a mile guaranteed every single day. I live in South Carolina. It gets hot. It gets humid. It feels like you're walking through actual water sometimes. But I'd run that mile every single day. Never missed a beat unless I was sick throughout the entire summer running a mile. I cut out sodas. I only drank water. That was just what I did. And I ate whatever I wanted. It was basically just a caloric diet that I took. Just make sure that I'm under 2,000 every single day. I can eat whatever I want. So sometimes I would go to McDonald's. I'd get a Big Mac combo. But then later on for dinner, I would have like a TV dinner for like 300, 400 calories. And that's just what worked for me because your boy was a fatty. I love my McDonald's. I love my fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? Sure. That was at the time before I cleaned up my eating. And the most important part of a diet is just what you can stick with. So I always wanted to get something that I really liked, and then I would just kind of go light later on in the day. Or I don't know if you guys know what intermittent fasting is, but kind of like that in a way, where you just kind of pig out in one time frame, and then the rest, you're chilling until the next day. But that just worked out for me. So I lost another 40 pounds. And then, by the time next year for school, I had lost 60 pounds in total since last year, since basketball season going into summer. And, I had abs and everything like that. Not really because your boy was muscular, but because I got so skinny at that point. And I just really liked fitness from that point on. Getting healthy is a pretty great thing, and it makes you feel good, everything like that. Obviously, later on in life, I decided to become a full-time content creator. That's another lore book entirely. And I gained some weight because your boy, staying up all night making videos and stuff, and kind of neglecting the gym for the grind. But recently, I've been getting back heavily into fitness, more so than the past probably 6 months. So. Kind of back on that grind. I found the passion again, but yeah, I like fitness a lot. It's done a lot for me for sure.
That's awesome. I was just curious because I'm big into staying healthy and such, and going to the gym. And in the past 3 months, I've lost 15 pounds since I started. And
yes, sir, dude.
That's just a little portion. Little history about mine as well too. In 2017, I weighed 235. Lost 65 pounds throughout like a year-long process. So I'm always down to talk about fitness and stuff like that, and hear people's opinions and stories like yours. That's awesome. So
it was probably all the water weight from never taking off a hoodie. 65 pounds of water weight, bro.
I went for it. When you see like your family have like weight problems and stuff like that, and health problems due to their obesity and stuff, it makes you realize, you're like, okay, this isn't what I want to be whenever I'm 50. I don't want to have trouble breathing when I walk up my steps and stuff like that,
100%. That's my family too. I'm probably the first person in my family, probably aside from my grandfather, that's actually kind of like gotten in shape. I mean, my mom and her side of the family, and my dad and everybody like that. I'm one of the, not to just talk crap about my family.
No, yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm one of the only people. I strayed from the diet and the lifestyle that they kind of grew me up on, and just kind of grew up, and took things into my own hands. So no, I totally get it.
That's awesome. All right. Enough talking about all that stuff.
My favorite fitness is fitting this stuff in my mouth,
Yo, wait, what's the stuff though?
You don't need to know.
What's the stuff though?
Shut up.
Yeah, no, this is what I need to know.
Goodness.
I don't know. I can't taste it, so I couldn't tell you.
Fitting whatever I can put in my mouth because I can't taste
anything, bro.
All right, we going off the deep end, bro.
If we're talking fitness journeys, I played sports my whole life, so it goes the opposite. I was in shape until I didn't play sports, and now I'm gradually getting fatter until one day I decide to get my 6-packs again.
You'll get there.
And then I'll show them to you guys in a Discord message.
Ooh, yo, bet.
Okay.
I swear one day I will.
And then you're going to kiss us all goodnight, right?
Yes, on the lips.
Whoa! Hang on.
All right, I'll be waiting, bro.
With tongue.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Well, dude, I'm happy to hear your story, Joe, and that's awesome. Everything that you've gone through. It sounds like you're very what's the word? Persistent, I guess you could say. When you put your head down and do something, you get that shit done. So that's awesome. It's inspiring as well too. So I'm just happy to hear that. Now that let's all talk about what we're really here for, and that's Destiny, the game.
Destiny.
You know, the game we all
Destiny.
the game we all fallen in love with in the past 7 years or so, or I guess fallen in love with
The
at some
game
point.
we waste all of our time playing.
yeah.
Constantly.
But as you know, the most recent TWABs that we've gotten have been some of the biggest TWABs in, I would say, the past like 6 months. Like
There's
honestly,
some chunky
like,
boys.
like you get to the point where PvP was becoming very, very, very untouchable due to certain builds and stuff like that, and PvE was becoming stale. They had GMs that would come out every season. We got a reprised raid, so people are like, okay, we need to get to a point where things need to start feeling fresh again. And I think, in my humble opinion, that's what season 15 is going to feel like. We're going to have a completely different meta, whether it's PvE, whether it's PvP. And I think the game is only going to get better. And I kind of say that with confidence as well too, because of all the things that you see in the most recent TWAB. Just to go over a few of them, I mean, we have the changes to Slide. That was a few weeks ago that they mentioned that, and that's in PvP and such. But then the changes to some of the subclasses as well too. I don't know about you, but Nova Warp looking kind of hot. Nova Warp and one of the Stormcallers as well too. Just might be my new main thing. Whether it's even in PvE, they're getting some PvE buffs as well. So, but the most recent TWAB went over a lot of the armor changes. What do you see in that TWAB? If you've read through, I'm assuming you have, being someone that covers the game so well. What is something that you saw in the TWAB that kind of really just sparked your interest, that maybe someone hasn't really gotten a lot of attention, I guess you could say?
The number one thing from the TWAB that I haven't seen that many people talk about, or maybe a lot of people have. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really watch many other people's like YouTube videos and stuff.
Right.
I mean, as a content creator that covers it, I don't need to. But the biggest thing that stood out to me is when they talked about the Iron Banner armor. Starting next season, we'll be introducing the Iron Lord's Pride intrinsic perk to the set.
Ooh,
meaning
okay,
that
I missed that.
they're making these armor sets have specific perks on them, meaning that it matters aside from stats what armor you're using. It says wearing a piece of this armor grants a small chance for an enhancement prism dropping at the end of an Iron Banner match. Now, I think
awesome.
most in-game players, we don't want any more enhancement prisms, but this has really heavy implications for like other stuff in the game. Like, I love that. That's what I want to see. I want to see there be a reason to, because I mean, look at Diablo 3, for example. I don't know if anyone's played Diablo 3, but Diablo 3 has sets in the game. I think it's like this green rarity armor, and the more of the same armor piece you wear, the more bonuses you get. That's exactly what that is, and that's like a core RPG MMO element that Destiny's missed for a long time. Damn. That's the biggest thing that stands out to me, and that's got me really happy for future stuff. Obviously, that perk in particular doesn't really excite me.
Sure.
Because I'm filled with enhancement prisms. I can't get rid of them. But that right there, depending on what they could do with the idea in the future, has me really excited.
Yeah, like you get a weapon piece, something at the end of a match, which also makes you want to play Iron Banner rather than just
exactly like a higher chance for Iron Banner, like RNG loot drops. Yeah. And the more pieces you have on increases the chance.
So, what do you see them like incorporating that type of similar thing in with future content? Like, because there's okay, for another example, you have Leviathan stuff that gives you perks and stuff like that. Like, we have our raid perks, but where do you see that incorporating in other, I guess, other forms of armor sets like that, or even like weapons as well too? Like, you get an Iron Banner weapon, you can reload faster when you're in Iron Banner, like when you're in the middle of or after capturing a zone, like different things like that. Like, because what's the point of playing Iron Banner at the moment? Not really much, other than just getting your coins and going to get a freaking shotgun or something like that, or just going to steamroll people. So I agree with you. Like, that type of armor set is interesting. I didn't see that. I'm glad you said that, because that completely slipped my mind, and whenever I was reading over it. So, the question
for me, like that would be a big thing for me. Like, if I'm a casual player, let's say, And this could go hand in hand with trials. A big thing for like a casual player could be, you know, if you wear the Trials of Osiris set, which, you know, I mean, anyone can get it because of the whole 3-win reward thing currently. You know, a lot of people have been waiting on like the helmet 3 wins so they could jump off the map or whatever and get it for transmog. But like, it'd be cool if, like what Luke said, if you had a chance, whether you like won or you lost or whatever, if you had the armor set on, you'd have a chance for a random drop. So let's say that week, you know, you have Eye of Saul up for grabs, you have the legs, you have Messenger, and then a Depth Messenger. But at the end of a match, you got this armor set on, you have a chance for an Igneous to drop for you, or you know, an armor piece. Kind of like how Destiny 1 had just random stuff dropping, you know, throughout your playtime. And for casual players, you know, you can maybe temper it a little bit to make it to where people can't just jump off map and get free loot. So maybe increase the chance depending on how many rounds you win. Even if you lose the game, if you win like 2 out of the you know, rounds or whatever, that gives you a higher chance. And, you know, maybe you lost, but you get tokens, and maybe you get a Godworld armor piece, maybe a Godworld weapon or something like that. I mean, the possibilities for intrinsic armor perks is pretty awesome. I mean, it's just like I said, it's a core RPG element that most of these games have had for so long, and Destiny's just now getting it. So, I mean, I want to see Bungie expand on it pretty heavily.
I would agree. This just caught me by surprise. Like I said, I didn't read over that, so that's interesting to see that they're kind of incorporating something like that. I would like to see, and like you were saying, one of the biggest problems with Trials is it's not catered to casuals. There's nobody's going in there to just, hey guys, let's go have fun in Trials of Osiris. No,
go to the
let's
lighthouse,
go sweat our freaking ass off in Trials of Osiris, and face a cheater on game 3. No, it's not like that. So that interesting concept that you came up with there. It's like the more pieces of armor, or even if you have a weapon or something like that from that set, you get intrinsic things while you're playing that game mode. Whether it's more loot or a chance of a loot, whether it's increased ADS speed or something like that. Like if I'm in Trials of Osiris and I just won a round, my next round my gun's gonna reload faster or something like that. Like I don't know, something like that. Like gives you a reason to use the weapons that you get from that sitting thing in that game mode.
Dude, just the RNG like drop chances alone. Like for me, right? We were talking about Above earlier, but recently went on Above's Grandmaster Gauntlet that he had, right? Dismantled one of the rarest god rolls in the game because you boycott the L. But imagine, right? It's the Royal Entry rocket launcher. You can't farm it. It's one of 4 weapons that drop at the end of a Vanguard strike. Imagine having a Vanguard set that you could wear. You put that set on, it gives you a higher chance for strike loot. I mean, that's what I would, because here's the thing. Once you get that god armor, once you get that armor that has, you know, double 100, maybe triple 100, depending on, you know, how hard you're grinding, or, you know, you have the stats that you want, then what's the point of ever getting another armor set with sunsetting gone? There is none. You would never have another reason, unless you're running VOG, you know, you want to run the VOG mods and stuff like that. But you know, this is a good thing. This incentivizes us to have more things to grind for, and more things to earn, and actually, hopefully, get good payoff out of it instead of an enhancement prism. Like I said, I don't like the specific intrinsic trait, but the potential that's there is pretty high. So I really hope Bungie takes advantage of it.
What are your thoughts on that, Luke?
It's what we talk about like all the time, like figuring out a way to make the loot worth the next section, like so like getting the loot and then figuring out how to make that loot worthy of getting something else. For instance, if there's intrinsic perks or whatever, or anything, just like anything that has to do with giving us more stuff that makes sense to make us want to grind for more stuff, which makes sense to make us want to grind for more stuff, which is fun all at the same time, and it's new and it feels different. It's not the same thing, like go do this, but like what Joe said there about like specifically about if I could grind a Nightfall or a Strike or whatever with a specific set of whatever, and I can get just kind of like in D1 whenever we could go for like Strike specific loot, if there's something like that where you could have more of a chance to get that thing by just farming the crap out of it with items that you have to farm the crap out of it to get in order to farm the crap. You know what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
I love the idea of just anything that makes it more exciting to do something, because that's the one thing I feel like they always are a little bit behind on, is like we want to farm a specific thing, but there ends up not being like a point to it, because it's like, well, what are we getting from it? Why are we getting it? What's the point? What led us to getting it? I don't know. No clue. I used to love literally was it Grass to Malik? Is that what it was called? The one from
Omnigul,
yeah. I would do that for like hours and hours and hours and hours. Literally just because I wanted the gun. But like, I don't think that there's anything in D2 that has me, being like, oh man, I gotta stay up all night doing this farm, unless it's for like a YouTube video or Twitch, or I'm doing a 24-hour stream and I need to do menagerie for a seal. Like,
I remember that.
Do you remember that? Yeah, I did a 24-hour stream one time, and 17 hours of it was me just doing menagerie stuff for a seal. Anyways, but yeah, that's where I'm at. What I'm, and you guys probably don't care about this, but what I got excited about when I read this, or I didn't read much of it, I just kind of saw this and then I was like, oh, cool, was the controller sensitivity and traction. Because
I bet, dude.
I play on controller, so this is like a big controller change. Not only like they're like getting rid of, I'd have to reread it again, but from what I understood, they're like taking traction away, but they're like kind of adding it into the actual like.
It's just like the UI and
almost,
stuff.
Yeah, almost like your sensitivity. Almost
yeah, well, they're adding 11 to 20 sensitivity, so now you can go from 1 to 20. Like I think that's a sweet change. They're also adding ADS sensitivity modifier, which allows you to go from 0.5 to 1.5. It's cool for people that aren't cheating. If you're like cheating with a Zim, it's probably going to make it even more difficult. But I play on controller because I'm an old man and I enjoy it, so I'm excited. But the thing that's funny is I don't care about the sensitivity increase because I play 4 sensitivity. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it, bro. I'm good on 4 sensitivity. I can snipe like really good at 4 sensitivity, but it takes me a second to turn around. So if only I could like switch it to 10 like right when I'm turning, but then it goes back to 4 whenever I'm playing. But I thought that's
your ADS modifier.
True. I thought that was pretty cool for like a huge audience of players who waste.
I agree with that.
That waste a traction mod on their boots because it's necessary.
You'd be very surprised how many people in this game play on controller, especially the casual players. You get people that are on a PC just because they had one, maybe, or just because they want to be on, higher graphic settings and such like that.
Their friends as well might play on it, seeing as we haven't had crossplay.
Yeah.
Right. So they switch and they don't want to learn mouse and keyboard because it's too hard, or they're of
just takes
older
time,
age
bro.
Or anything like that. And
me, who are you talking about?
So say they've played on console their whole life, so they're comfortable with the controller, So but they wanna be of higher sensitivity. They've always thought maybe 10 was a little bit too low, and you got the modifiers and such. So I do agree with you. It's gonna hit a large audience of people that I don't think a lot of people are aware of, I want to go back real quick to the whole armor sets as well too, because there's so much potential in that. Like when you talked about that, it just like blew my mind. I'm like, dude, you could have a Crucible set, you could have a Vanguard Strike set, you could have a Trials set, a GM set. A Gambit set for God knows what.
No, don't do that. No Gambit set.
Make those moats, Guardian.
If you have a Gambit set, you are going to get judged.
There was a Gambit set, and it doesn't work anymore.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, but that's like, see what they did with that. Like, imagine if you have those things like a collector set, but for Crucible, and you have this thing that allows you. Every time you get a headshot, drops an extra, drops primary ammo or something like that. Like just little things like that. Nothing game breaking, but just something that will always benefit you if you're getting kills or assists.
Be like a nice little addition.
Right. Imagine just having those sets of armor, and because I'm telling you one thing, I'm a PvP player. I got one set of armor and a few exotics that I switch out in between, and that's it. And that's it. I literally make my PvE sets out of my PvP stuff that I already have. Like that's just. Because it's pointless. It's pointless to have this. So it gets me excited just thinking about something like that, where I know I will have like something. If I put on these 4 pieces that I got from turning in all my 10,000 Crucible tokens, that I will now be able to get 5 more tokens every game, or I will now be able to get 2 times the experience towards my Valor or something like that. Like just something that keeps you playing the game and you rank up faster, you get your loot faster, literally all of the above.
I think the main issue, though, And this whole like intrinsic set thing, if Bungie's going to go into it, they're going to go full sin, and they're going to create more of this, which is a good thing. Like as we discussed, we all want it. But the problem is it further highlights another underlying issue with Destiny, or at least in my opinion. Maybe other people don't think this big about it, but loadouts, having customizable loadout in game, not on dim. Bungie, stop with the third party stuff. Put the stuff in game. Put LFG in game. Put dim in game. All that. But the number one thing is loadouts that you can save. I mean, it's so annoying, the fact that let's say you're a casual player, right? And you don't know all this stuff, and you're very limited to your inventory space. You got to go to the let's say you're about to play Vault of Glass, and you get your own Vault of Glass set because you want to optimize and whatever. You got to go all the way to the tower. You got to scroll through your vault. You got to find what you want, get it out, maybe put some stuff in to make room for it, blah, blah, blah. Then put it on, switch the mods around, do whatever you got to do. We need things that if this is going to be a big thing, if we're going to have, individual sets that have intrinsic traits that benefit the player, we're going to need a better system for the inventory. It's Absolutely. A joke. It's such a joke that all this stuff is outside of the game. And this was brought up to me by Don the other day, but Bungie, they promote Destiny Item Manager in the UI of the vault. If you go to Destiny 2 right now, there's a little icon when you're looking at your vault that promotes third-party programs. I get it. But why doesn't Bungie do this themselves? Why do I have to download a phone app? Why do I need to open up this program on my browser? Why is this not in the game? So that's just a whole side tangent. But the main takeaway, as far as the armor is concerned, I would like to have savable loadouts. If I'm about to hop into trials, I want to be able to pull up a menu in the UI, click this thing, throws me a Hawk Moon, a frozen orbit, gives me my sword so I can 3-peek, everything in between. Everything that I'm going to need.
You didn't have to say that part.
Give me everything
not for
I'm
long.
Need.
Not
Maybe
for
even
long.
swap my subclass and my individual tree and everything like that. And just have that. I mean, that would be great,
Especially if they're going to do stuff like this.
The inventory will be even bigger of an issue. And people are already complaining about vault space. Astrocross
Give me
is
unlimited.
going on this huge crusade about it. And even I'm starting to suffer from it too. A lot of people are.
I need more. I need 5,000 slots.
It's a looter game, man. Why are we so
I want to hold everything I ever got. I'm not even kidding. I want to show.
Luke's terrible. Luke's terrible when it comes to. I've played on his account before. It's bad. It's bad.
Dude, I feel you.
He has 7 frozen orbits, and I just don't know which one his main one or his main.
My main one.
Cannon that he uses.
My best one is my snapshot. No distractions. That's my baby.
Of course.
The idea, dude, I am so with you, Joe, about I don't know why on earth they don't just build their own version of DIM, a better version of it in the game right now.
Or just hire the guy
hire them.
That makes it.
Yeah, have them pay them to do it.
Have you guys heard, just a little small thing, whenever they were bringing the Master Chief Collection to PC, there was this project that was done by the community called El Dorito or Halo Online. And it was a bunch of people in the Halo community that came together and they ported Halo 3 to the PC. What 343 and Microsoft did is they hired those people that made that mod and made that, fan-made version of Halo on PC. They hired them to 343 and had them work on Master Chief Collection for PC. I don't see why Bungie doesn't hire the people behind DIM, get them to Bungie, have them build that into the game, and you're not going to be doing anything negative to them. You're not putting them out of a job by implementing it into the game. If that's what they're worried about, just hire the people behind it, get them to implement it into the infrastructure, and then we won't have so many casuals that aren't able to do things as effectively, or even LFG. For that matter, man. I mean, this is an MMO by Bungie. Bungie have proclaimed this game as an MMO. What MMO doesn't have LFG built into the game where you can find people to play with? You're not going to tell me that guided games is that LFG. I'm not taking it. That thing has had the bracket and beta next to it for 3 years now.
Does it get out? Yeah.
Yeah. Bungie doesn't care about guided games, man.
Here's
you need LFG.
What I would like to see is something similar to the tower. But just make it to where it's just there's not a set amount of people in there, and just there's nothing there other than just people. I remember I think I'm thinking of Anthem when I think of there's an area in Anthem. Don't judge me. I played Anthem. Okay, it's a fantastic.
He loved
game.
it. He wanted it to be his main
the
game.
collector's edition. Don't feel
It is
bad.
fantastic. I bought it twice because I played it on PS4
I
and
didn't
PC.
play that stupid game.
Fantastic game. Anyways, there's a place in Anthem called the Launch Bay. It is simply just an area for people to see what you're up to, and there's just 50 people in their suits just around the area. And all it is like, hey, I'm about to go do this. Do you guys want to join me? Hey, I'm about to go do this. I need people for this. Why is there? And I'm not saying like, why isn't this in the game? Blah 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 blah. Like the game, we love Destiny, and it sounds like I'm complaining,
No, we don't.
but
We hate it.
We hate this game.
I would love to see a massive social space, just a space. Like it doesn't literally have to be anything pretty, but just like something like in the depths of the tower where it's just people, and there's just a board or a wall of some sort where it's just people messaging, hey, I need 3 people for last wish, this and that, this is my join code, boom, bang, in the game, join right then and there,
And Discord's connected to it.
Yeah
That
I'd just
right
love to see
there
that.
was it was talked about by I think Kujay. It was his idea was just take the farm and rework it into
something like that where there's literally
an
nothing
LFG
to do.
zone. Yeah, I mean, lore-wise, during the Red War, literally that's just where Guardians gathered, and then they went back. They went out and they started doing the good fight. Just let it be the same thing, except the Red War's not going on. Let Guardians gather there specifically, and then just head out. Or, you could do something with the helm. You could add it just how they did with the new season. Just add another branch to it. That maybe you walk up to this door, you hold interact, it takes you to this loading screen, and then you load into like this mini social space with like a bunch of other people.
I mean, not a max of 16, which is nonsense with how big the
Yeah,
tower is.
like 100.
It needs to be 50.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 50 to 100 where there's just people in there that are just, they can use their in-game computer like they are playing on and just type in a message on a board, gets posted up to a board, person interacts with the board, bang, I want to join this one.
Yeah.
And if they don't join, then someone already joined it. Quick, easy as that. But there's messaging. You can have like proxy chat going on or something like that, where there's people that you can join in their fire team or something like that and say, hey, what are you guys doing? And this and that. I would absolutely love that. I'm not a big LFG person. I always tell myself I'll never do LFG because I have friends that play this game. Like I have a community that I lean upon when it comes to joining me and stuff like that. And I've surrounded myself with really good, like, just in-game players, whether it's PvP or PvE.
Yeah, we get it. You don't need anyone. We get it.
I don't need LFG. I really don't. But like, I would think it'd be such a great source in-game for people that are casual, because there are
for the casual homies.
You go into Discord and you see it's just literally non-stop join codes and non-stop people joining in and out of the voice chats that are just looking for raids or to grind trials or this and that and blah, blah, blah. And just to have that in game instead, because you don't see access to Discord when you play on a PS4 or stuff like that,
I personally love LFG. Like, I have homies to play with, but since I've been in this like weird in between the last like 5 months, when I hop on, I'm like, dude, I'm always hopping on. I annoy everyone because I just want to hop on to do end game level stuff. Like, I'm not just chilling. I'm like, I need to do trials, or I need to do this challenge on VOG or whatever. It'd be sick if this was available. Although I don't care as much of it being like a social space as much. I'd be more happy with it being like a really nice built out UI where I can like, I don't like where I have to like go look at stuff. I want it to just be like on the screen, like, okay, there's the kind of like
a menu. I mean, that's exponentially better than what we have.
Something while you're in orbit or something. Literally
anything to just get into something quick, because that's how I used to play on PS4. I used the LFG in the Destiny app, and that's how I mean, and for a long time, bro, before they added the thing where it would like now you can like join it and they'll instantly invite you in the PlayStation. Before, you used to have to literally like add them on PSN, and then once they accepted you, they'd join it. So I had like 500 friends on PlayStation.
Dude, it was bad. I had so many like sent friend requests as well too. Like I remember whenever I actually got off like PS4, I was going through and looking at all the friend requests that I've sent, and it's just a long list of just random names, because I used to LFG all the time. Last time I did LFG, I met someone that is now like a 14-month sub in my channel, because we just became friends, and now we're just vibing, and it's just
dude,
It's a great thing.
LFG's legit.
Honestly.
Big stories come from LFG. Like I met a bunch of dudes I used to raid with in California because I met them at LFG at 3 a.m, and then we became really good friends. And then when I was in California, I got to meet all of them. Like that's what LFG is. So LFG is special.
You never know you can get a terrible experience, or you can meet your lifelong best friend. You never know it.
Or you could get married to Joe.
There you go. That too.
Oh, that's very true.
Well, why would we just turn around like this?
Just stick around after the podcast.
Yeah. Don't disconnect when we leave, okay?
Yeah, just disconnect Maddox after we're done.
Hey, I'll leave. I'll give you guys your space.
Good thing there's video.
Dude, I
you
just
better be lucky I gotta talk to Frosty, okay?
Bro, I want to get up in that beard. That's all I'm saying.
It's sweaty and COVIDy.
Oh goodness! Just looking at the TWAB again as well too. You have 6 exotics that. So these are like the types of exotics that gain super energy upon explosion or upon killing enemies with said super or anything like that. Every single one of those exotics. Now I'll name them off here for you as well too. You have the Shards of Galanor. You have Ursa Furiosa, Skull of Dire Amkara, Phoenix Protocol, Storm Dancer's Brace, and Geomag Stabilizers are all now going to be topped at 50. You can no longer get more than 50% of your super with those perks. That is huge. I'm so glad they're all set to a certain amount. Not one is better than the other. Yep. That is a much needed change, if you ask me. It sucks because a lot of them are really good, and some of them are probably getting brought up, like Shards of Galanor and Skull of Dire Hamkara have been kind of lackluster recently. Ursa being top tier, Phoenix Protocol being top tier, Geomags, y'all know about Geomags.
Yeah, man, I've never heard of that exotic.
Yeah. So I'm glad that's happening. You got changes to Bombardiers, you got changes to the Stag, which a lot of people have been pointing out as well too, but just different things. Like they're literally changing some exotics because they're just so terrible. Promethean Spur being one of them, where they're just literally just changing everything about it. But here's one thing that I asked you the question earlier, Joe, about like what did you see that excited you about the TWAB, and you came with a fantastic approach about it.
He did his homework.
Here's one thing you did, and I'm glad that you did. Here's one thing that I noticed, and it's completely new. It's the holster mods.
Yes, sir.
That is huge. Because we all know the perk of auto-loading holster. It's fantastic on GL. It's fantastic on a bunch of different other things. But to have that as a mod now, because I'm really, really fond of like reload mods or reload perks on my weapons. So I don't normally run a reload mod or whatever, like enhanced reload or whatever it used to be. So I think this is now okay. It's gonna be on our leg armor. Excuse me. So
wait, is this like is this like Cocoon? Like
it's gonna be like a build. It's gonna.
Like
it's
it just
not gonna
gives you
reload
ammo.
The whole mag, but it's gonna reload. Yeah, it's gonna reload while it's stowed. It's gonna give you a bullet.
Bro,
like
I'm
every
never
5
taking that
seconds.
off. That's like on King's Fall, like the weapons they all had Cocoon or whatever. That was my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like that is. I don't think a lot of people pointed that out, but that is a massive mod coming to Destiny.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
That is huge.
Look at them making it more fun. Isn't that what we wanted?
I mean, it's reconstruction without doubling like your mag size.
Exactly.
And it's cool because you can have 2 of these. You can stack them, and it'll increase your reload as well, which is really nice. And of course, Bungie knows what they're doing, so they're not giving it to rockets or
I was about to mention
special
that.
GLs and stuff, because they don't. I mean, that'll be super overpowered. Just built-in auto loading every weapon, like that'd be terrible.
Anything that only has a magazine size of 1 will not have that mod, which is fine. That's understandable, because then you can.
Yeah, that's fair.
Those normally are rolling really well with auto-loading holster. You have a rocket launcher that normally has auto-loading holster. You have a GL that normally has auto-loading holster. So like, I don't see that being a big problem. But just imagine you pull out like you need that shotgun to be reloaded when you pull it out, and then it is because you have that mod. Like it's just like
it's so necessary.
So much better. It's absolutely.
It comes into play so much more than people think. For me, at least. That's
absolutely.
Like, like how I do the. I don't do the gambler's dodge. I do the one that when you do the double.
That reloads it.
I always been that way, like forever, and it's just because I always need. It's like, I don't know. It's just the way I play. But having that extra like bullet at that moment is so important to me. So this is huge. I didn't even read that, so that's cool.
It's going to be a fantastic mod, and I'm excited for it because now scavenger mods won't stack. That's one of the biggest things that they're changing as well too, which is huge because that's going to help with the special economy, especially. And most of my takes are in PvP wise as well too. I don't know if Joe's aware of that or not, but like majority of my criticism comes from a PvP standpoint. But that's exciting for me because I don't normally run double scavs anyways. But just having that, it's almost like insurance. It's like having insurance on your weapons almost, you know? You always know you're going to go into a fight. But my biggest question is if I don't have any special ammo and I run over a special brick, is it going to automatically start working or do I have to pull it out for it to start? Does that make sense? Like, is it going to work even though I didn't have any ammo and I picked up ammo? Like, I'm curious, is it going to work in that sense? Does that make any sense?
Well, I guess, I mean, the way that they have it worded, I'm pretty sure it will. It says like just a blanket statement of just gradually reload stowed weapons. So I mean, whether you had it pulled out and then and then stowed it or not, I mean, it's still stowed regardless. So I'm pretty sure, you kill somebody, you're out of sniper ammo, you run over their body, you can pick that up, maybe get in an engagement and stuff, and then pull out your weapon, and you should be good to go. I don't see why Bungie would make it to where like, because I mean at that point it kind of defeats the purpose. Because you just swap and then reload and put it away at that point instead of just pulling it out. So I'm pretty sure it'll work pretty well. I'm pretty sure it'll work. Just as long as it's stowed, you're good to go.
I hope so. That'd be a good. That's gonna be a great perk. I'm excited for that. Underneath this, Joe, this is a huge thing for you. With being a PvE boy, is a massive. I say massive. It's just because of the different damage numbers and stuff that they listed. A lot of the stuff is literally cut in half. So like, I don't know how it's gonna work. I still think they're gonna be strong, but Warmind cells is huge in PvE. If people literally have builds, I'm sure you have a Warmind cell build that you use. I mean, you've made literal videos about
People
it. People
meme all over me because I don't stop talking about Warmind cells. Because they're the best thing in the game. I mean,
absolutely.
That's just what it is. It turns any primary into an ad clear primary as long as it can generate.
Absolutely.
It's great.
So what are your thoughts on the changes in general? Like I said, some of these things are cut in half. Let me just talk about it real quick. Global reach now costs one extra, or two extra, excuse me. It goes from one, I believe it was previously, to now 3. And then the meters of damage that its radius of damage is literally cut in half from 20 to 10. Like, that's huge. Because I mean, I don't know what the irregular explosion was generally without the global reach on, but I'm assuming it had to be something near 10. So I think that's maybe adding on a couple meters of explosion to what it already had. So, and some of these damage numbers are literally cut in half. It blows my mind. The reduced damage of explosion of Warmind cells based on just base damage goes from previously to 200 to 400 down now to 50 to 250. Like that, those numbers just blow my mind. That to me is a massive nerf.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts?
So I noticed that there's two camps whenever it comes to talking about Warmind cells. You got the people who are like, yo, Warmind cells are trash, throw them in the garbage, they're gone. And then you got people like me who are like, why? Like, why do you think that? Because, and I'll explain why. So previously, Warmind cells, as said here, used to have a base range of 10, and global reach would increase it 20 more. So a Warmind cell with global reach would be 30 meters of mini nuke. That's how it would work. Now, because of the way that they're changing range, and this is before we get into damage, they're changing it to 6 base and then a 10 increase with global reach. That's 16 meters with global reach. So it's a little bit more than half than what they had previously.
That makes more sense. Okay.
My stance on it, though, is regardless of the damage nerf, and I'm gonna be honest, this damage nerf needed to happen not because the Warmind cells were dealing too much damage to adds, but because they were dealing too much damage to things like majors and just really tough enemies. Sometimes you would just one-shot these really high health bar enemies because of how strong Warmind cells are. I think for the most part, Warmind cells are probably still gonna one bang most ads, maybe outside of like Grandmaster content. But this is where I get into my point. There are two specific Warmind cell mods that are massive meta inside of PvE, and that'd be Warmind's Protection, which gives you an insane, like, I want to say like 100% damage resistance when next to a Warmind cell. Like, the amount of survivability that Warmind's Protection gives you is ridiculous. That's not mentioned here. That's not getting touched whatsoever. And then you also have Power of Rasputin, which any enemy that's next to a Warmind cell is basically debuffed. It's like getting hit with a tether in a way. If they're next to a Warmind cell, they're going to glow orange and they're going to take extra damage. That's another really big one. You also have mods that allow you to pick Warmind cells up and throw them. So you would still be able to do things like, spawn a Warmind cell, pick it up, throw it at the boss, and then deal extra damage like that. And that's just ways that you can use Warmind cells without popping them, and using them for ad clear purposes. But even whenever we go back and we use them as ad clear, obviously these are numbers on a screen, so it could be a massive change. It could be way bigger than any of us think. But the way that I view it is that you're still going to rather want a Warmind cell weapon than not have a Warmind cell weapon.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna get a mini nuke that you otherwise wouldn't get with another weapon, regardless of the usability of it, right? And how crazy it is. I would 9 times out of 10, I'd rather have the mini nuke than not have the mini nuke. This nerf, to me, basically looks like they're just going to keep you from being able to clear. Like, if you're running like Battlegrounds, you're not going to be able to sit on one end of the Cosmodrome and kill enemies all the way over there. That's just not how it's going to work. But like room clearing, it's still going to be pretty good for room clearing. But the main takeaway that I got from this is that you have mods like Wrath of Rasputin, which in this TWAB, they have it incorrectly listed as giving a damage bonus. Wrath of Rasputin doesn't do that. What it does is it causes solar explosive damage to spawn a Warmind cell. What they meant in the TWAB is Rage of the Warmind. Not Rage of the Warmind. Is it Rage of the Warmind? Yeah, Rage of the Warmind, I'm pretty sure, that gives solar damage to whenever you pop a Warmind cell. The Wrath and the Rage combination currently in the game allows you to pop a Warmind cell, and because of this, it with those two mods together, it allows Warmind cells to create Warmind cells. You pop a Warmind cell, you kill a bunch of enemies, and another one spawns off of it because you have Wrath and Rage equipped. I think that specific combo is going to be not as good because of the damage nerf. You're not going to be as reliably killing as many things at a time, so you just can't chain sell back to back to back because you're killing 5+ enemies every time. I think that build specifically is going to see not as much usability, but I mean, at the end of the day, you can run Warmind cell mods with Charged with Light mods. For some reason, I see people on Twitter and in my YouTube comment section that are like, why would I run Warmind cells when I can run Charged with Light? And my question is, why don't you just run both? Because that's what I do. Protective Light and taking charge, as far as Charged with Light is concerned, that's all you need for endgame. That's it. Just those two. And, with scavs not being able to be stacked anymore, I'm not going to have extra slots taken up on my boots, so I'm going to have a little bit of extra mod energy, so I can, throw Global Reach on my boots pretty easily. And then I could spec into a mod like Warmind's Protection, that'll either, heal me, or not heal me, but keep me from taking as much damage, or Power of Rasputin that'll let me deal more damage, even without needing to pop them. So they're still going to have plenty of usability, like plenty of usability outside of what, this nerf is saying. Yeah, they're not going to be as overpowered, but they needed to be nerfed to begin with.
I can agree.
They were just too strong, but it is going to open up more doors for more weapons to be used. Warmind cell weapons aren't going to be a necessity. Hell, they were never a necessity because the game isn't that hard. But they're just not going to be as overpowered. But they're definitely still going to be useful 100%. I think people are overreacting just a tiny bit about it.
I can see that. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said like you would still rather have it than not have it.
Yeah.
Like it's there. What else are you going to use that's stronger? Yeah, I think that's a perfect rendition of what anybody should think of it is like. Why not though? Like what am I gonna do? Have a Dragonfly SMG or something like that? Like what else is gonna be better to where I shouldn't run a Warmind cell build? They're still good. just gonna have a little bit of a nerf on certain things. But you were even, I mean, you sound very educated about it, if you ask me. Like, you know what the hell you're talking about, which is great, because I Warmind Cells is just a little bit confusing to me, just because I haven't really spec'd into it myself personally.
Same.
So
I've never
along with
really delved deep into them. I appreciate the
Exactly.
people like Joe who knows his shiz when it comes to the Warmind
Absolutely.
Cells.
All I know is taking charge, and what's the other one that gives me a weapon damage boost?
Oh, high energy fire.
High energy fire. That's the only two I really
That's
really
the
mess with.
PvP mindset, man.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go. Let's go.
But no, I mean, like you said, it's gonna be just as good to use them than just not have them at all. You know?
Yeah, there's just no reason not. I mean, before the nerf was announced, and I said it in a YouTube video, the only way to properly nerf Warmind Cells is to just take them out of the game. Like, and that's just, I mean, as someone who loves them, I'm not really a meta slave, but I'm also the kind of guy that's like, why would I not use the best stuff in the game? Like,
Right.
why would I make it harder on myself to do in-game content? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, you know, I'll screw around in regular strikes or seasonal content and dungeons, raids. But if I'm running master raids, if I'm running grandmasters, I'm gonna run the best stuff I could run. So I'm gonna have Empty Vessel on, and I'm gonna have Wrath of Rasputin. That's gonna let me make cells with it. I'm gonna combine that with Rage. I'm gonna combine that with Global Reach, and I have this weapon that, you know, I shoot one person, kills them. You know, they spawn a Warmind cell. I pop it with my primary. 15 other enemies are dead. Why wouldn't I use it? And even with this nerf, let's say the damage number is so low that it doesn't kill any enemies. I mean, you probably just half healthed everything in the room, and that's just going to make it easier to clear after the fact as well. So I just don't see why you just wouldn't use them. I do think they should be taken out of the game. I'm just going to be honest. If they are still going to be really viable after, you know, this whole nerf happens, I just think it's one of those things that it's too good, man. Like, I don't see a world where I just don't spec into them unless they, like, really increase the mod energy or really, like, make me have to stack mod after mod after mod after mod to the point where I can't run Charge with Light or something like that. But, I mean, just run Global Reach, run Rage of the Warmind after this nerf. You're going to get the extra damage with Rage of the Warmind, and just... you're good to go. That's all you're going to need. That's still 16 meters of damage that you otherwise wouldn't get with another weapon. So
yeah, when you're
that's what I'm going to be rocking.
Especially when you're in an area where you need to be behind cover, and you probably wouldn't be able to shoot that thing until it rushed you or something like that. Like, just talking scenario wise, but I mean, like you said, they're good. Why not use them? You know? So
yeah, I mean, just why not? They're there.
It goes the same with anything PvP meta. It's good. Why not use it? You know, some people get judged for it, but who cares? Who cares? So, any other, Mr. Luke? Do you have a question? Anything that you would? Because I have
a question. Yeah. What's your middle name?
You really want to know my middle name?
Yeah.
My middle name is Patrick.
Patrick Star?
Yes, sir.
No, this is Patrick. That's awesome, bro. No, I don't have questions. I'm just excited to be truthfully honest. Like, I'm just excited to get back into a rhythm where I can play this game consistently.
I'm excited for you. I want to get your takes on some PvP things here as well too, because you were mentioning before stream that you had your hot takes, and we love on this podcast, we love hot takes. Okay. We try to have one at least once at one.
And if it's good, I'm clipping it and put it on Twitter tomorrow. Like, that's
dude. DemonJoeFrance being toxic about PvP on podcast.
Oh no!
Hold up! It's because he's trash at the game. I'm telling you, he's bad. That's why he's saying it.
His KD must be low.
What I want to get your opinion on is, as we all were aware recently with that big huge tweet thread from Joe Groff about how Trials is getting a huge rework. You don't play Trials by the sound of it. You kind of stay away from PvP.
I went flawless 20 times last season. After the whole honeymoon phase of the new loot was a thing, I got out because I'm tired of cheaters. It pisses me off too much. I don't want to play it.
I feel that.
I like the mode. I loved it ever since D1, but I can't play it in this game.
Okay, well, that was my kind of follow-up question. What the rework? Like, what do you think the rework would be like what is a good rework in your sense? I guess you could say, like, what would bring you back? Of course, like disregarding anti-cheat, that's the obvious
That's the
answer.
first thing I
You
was
know,
gonna-
like that's the obvious answer. Everybody knows that this
Yeah.
game needs to be rid of cheaters. If you cheat, you're a piece of scum that on the bottom of my boot. that I will slam
You're
into the
literally
concrete.
the
Like,
inside. You live inside my butthole. That's how terrible
Word?
cheating is.
Word?
Well,
yeah, Demon Joe's about to be like, all right, cheat, yo.
Dude, that's the kind
That's
of
all-
topic I was waiting
all,
on.
all I've gotten from tonight is that me and Joe are now dating by the end of this.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
like,
100%.
just don't tell my wife, I guess.
Well, you're
You
stuck in the
don't-
room for a bit, so you're good.
True.
Yeah, you don't have a wife now. It's fine.
It's fine. Sorry, Allie, if you're listening. But just to go back to the question, what anti-cheat is the obvious answer. Like that's the obvious. But like, there's loot, there's gameplay, there's game mode, different things like that. There's just incentive. Like what's gonna be your better rework? Like you see Trials now, and you're on the team to rework Trials. What is your priority? I guess you could say.
Well, it's not the biggest thing that I personally like thought about because
Sure.
I'm Destiny PvP not always on my mind, but what I liked about a lot in Destiny 1, of course it was something new. It was something that we never saw. I think I went flawless like 30 times before Age of Triumph. I played it off and on. But as a kid, I always liked Trials. And like I said earlier, I went flawless over 20 times during Chosen. It was very enjoyable when the playlist population was there. And
Sure.
I mean, to be 100% honest, if we're talking bare minimum, what makes Trials enjoyable is just having the people that are there playing. Obviously, you have to do something to get the player base there. But, Trials in its current state, like with Chosen, I enjoyed it just because there was enough people that are around where I'm always playing, a wide variety of people and not the same people who are going to stomp me every single card that, I might match back to back or, a second time on a card or whatever. But, there's a few things that I think that Trials could use to help with like incentives and stuff. And of course, this isn't necessarily. I'm not really saying this from like a perspective to help every single person. I'm going to mention some things that I think would be cool for hardcore players as well. But I mean, overall, what Bungie said about their Trials rework is that, they mentioned that they want to have a way for people to be encouraged to keep running it, even after they've gotten a few losses, finish out their cards and stuff. They've also said that they're adding like Trials ranks into the mix and everything like that, which I guess that'll kind of help out with the PvP crowd. But I really hope that doesn't mean like a skill-based matchmaking type deal, because I don't think the playlist needs skill-based matchmaking as much, mainly because going flawless is already such a hard issue, it's such a big deal that I don't know how much that would help. I mean, we got card-based matchmaking right now, and I know a lot of people don't like that either. It's kind of depending on who you ask, you're going to get different answers. But for me, I think it would be cool if Trials, if it had some incentive outside of the regular win reward. Now, or the current loot structure. One thing I appreciated about Destiny 1 is that the loot that you got from Trials, it was random. I remember in Rise of Iron, going flawless 3 times the first week that Trials came out. I got an adept pulse rifle, I got an adept scout rifle, and I got an adept hand cannon. I always thought that was cool. Made it to the lighthouse, never know what you're gonna get. You're gonna,
Right.
That's a good and a bad thing. You can't necessarily focus farm, certain weapons. That's the bad. And the good thing is that, there's no such thing as a bad week. There's never going to be a week of Trials where it's going to be absolutely dead because the rewards are trash, because no one really knows what the rewards are. So for me personally, I've always been a fan of at least some sort of RNG, and that's what made Trials enjoyable for me at the time. I also liked the fact that you could get random drops during your Trials matches, and we have something similar right now with the Ghost Shell, at the end of matches, and of course you have the ship and the Sparrow at the Flawless chest. In Destiny 1, you had the Scarab emblem, you had Aru's Passage, which was the Trials shader, and you also had a completely separate armor set that would drop.
Oh gosh, yes, the ornaments.
Had not even talking about the ornaments, there was a separate legendary set that would drop at the end of matches that was completely different. it was at the time, it was pretty much reskinned armor. It looked like other armor in the game, but with a Trials coating on it. But it was still cool to get as bonus rewards while you're going throughout your card and stuff. And I think that the Destiny 1 armor that they took out in exchange for the Chosen Trials gear, which I'm really not a fan of the way that it looks personally, but it would be cool, you know, especially now that transmog is around, to kind of incentivize players to run trials and get some of the old armor as like random rewards and stuff. But you know, trials in general, man, it's just, I don't know. I don't really have the love for it that I used to. I don't really know entirely what I would do to make the playlist better, because I've kind of fell out as far as like PvP is concerned. What you said about the ornaments, though, of course, ornaments were a big thing back in the day with Rise of Iron's armor and getting stuff like that in Age of Triumph. I would, kind of for the hardcore player base, like to see Bungie do away with the limited glow garbage that you get. You go flawless for the week, you get a special glow in your Trials armor. Low key, I would kind of like to see that kind of stuff tied to the title. You wear the flawless title, and maybe you have something in the UI where you can select the color of the glow, so you're not forced into an emblem or something. And that could also be, you know, expanded upon across all the other titles in the game. But I think that would be cool. That would be better incentive to get the flawless title than there already is. And that would be a permanent cosmetic. And what a lot of us know about Destiny 1 Age of Triumph is that cosmetics were the name of the game, and that got a lot of people playing, you know, whether it was from raids or trials. But I mean, all in all, for trials, I don't really know what I would change, man. I mean, better. Obviously, there needs to be a better loot structure. There needs to be more incentive for solo players. We're going to be hearing all about that, you know, on the 24th, Joe Blackburn already said. And I'm sure Bungie can probably come up with better ideas than I can. You're the main guy to be asking about that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm sure that's always on your mind, but, I mean, you know.
I'm not a big fan of trials at the moment. Like we said, cheaters are terrible, and it's really frustrating to play against cheaters. But, like my biggest thing to play Destiny is the loot, is grinding till the end of time to get the one thing that I've wanted all along, you know, and that was the hand cannon. I got the god roll in my first one, so I haven't really had much reason to get another good hand cannon.
Right.
The adept pulse rifle, got a good one after the first weekend. So it's like, when you get the loot, there's really no other incentive to play, in my opinion. This is me, my personal experience with trials, is I don't have any reason to play. There's nothing else that I'm chasing from trials other than just playing with my friends and having a good time, you know? So to have something there like cosmetics, something that requires you to continue to play and that has low RNG, like I don't care about a ghost shell. I could care less. They all do the same thing. You know, but you're not going to get the cat ears on your hunter unless you go flawless 5 times in one weekend. You know, something like that, where there's this is what you need to do for this, but it's going to be damn hard, you know?
Destiny as a whole is missing that, I feel, because in Destiny 1, if somebody went flawless in trials and they were in the tower, you knew it. Everyone knew it. You could see him across the tower. You could see, especially the Titan armor with the shoulders. You got the wings that are flaring out to the side and everything like that. You knew that person put in the time and effort to get that look. And we don't really have those kind of things in this game currently, where you see someone, it's like, oh man, you know, he did the Age of Triumph raid for this week. He's got the cool looking armor. Oh man, that person went flawless or this and that. You don't really have that. You got ghost shells, you got a cool, you know, sparrow and ship that people literally only like the sparrow and ship because of how rare they are, less than what they look like, I feel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we need something, you know, kind of like that. I think Bungie heavily undervalues cosmetics as an in-game reward. And obviously it would be better to, you know, have things to where like adepts or like this really good weapon type and stuff, but you know, Bungie's trying to keep the casual audience from feeling neglected. You know, oh man, we don't have an adept, well, you know, screw us, right? So I mean, I kind of see where Bungie's coming from, and if they're going to keep holding that sentiment, if they don't want to step on the toes of casual players by making, you know, this new weapon type that only in-game players can get and make it worth our time, which adepts currently just are not, other than a flex, they should just invest into some more cosmetics, man. I mean, like the Aru's passage I talked about earlier, the trial shader, the scarab, the beetle scarab emblem, which not only looked cool but was one of the rarest emblems in the game, and of course, like you said, the ornaments and stuff. I mean, that would be just throw some cosmetics every single season into trials, and you're just playing with your boys one day, and you get a win, and then boom, that drop after like all these matches just comes out of nowhere. Everyone's freaking out. It looks super cool. It's super rare. That's the kind of stuff that would be nice. And yeah, I mean, I agree. I think cosmetics go a long way for the loot structure specifically.
Yeah, I agree. It's simply put, this is a looter shooter. Give us the loot. Like
give us the loot.
Give me the loot to chase for. And I think that's going to bring a lot of casual players back. Is you have those lower chances of getting the the 1 through 3 wins, or even the rounds and stuff like that, like you were saying. And we spoke about this before in previous podcasts multiple times of how we can bring casual players into trials and what can fix it and things like that. I just always like hearing people's opinions, and because again, you're not a trials player, you play PvE, but you used to, and you stopped playing it. So like, I want to know. I always like to hear people's thoughts on what would bring you back into it. Where are you going to find that newfound love for that certain game mode or something like that? So I think cosmetics is a huge thing. I mean, cosmetics is a huge thing. Like a lot of people back then would go just strictly for the ornaments,
Oh yeah.
Or people
and that's what I did in Destiny 1. I mean, by that time, I was kind of done with trials as a whole. I got all the adepts and I got the roles that I wanted and stuff.
Right.
And then Age of Triumph dropped, and I'm like, I'm hopping back in the playlist. Like, this armor looks insane. I want it,
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing for me. But for PvP as a whole, and this is my main issue. It's less of a trials thing, and it's more of a Destiny thing. And it's something that I don't think is ever going to be remedied, because Bungie, in my opinion, and this is the hot take of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Bungie, in my opinion, dude, the way, and I think some people will agree with me to a certain extent, but Bungie just doesn't really care about PvP, especially the way that they used to. And this is without even talking about the fact that we went 2 years with next to no PvP content or no PvP content. That is a whole era in and of itself. We're not even going to talk about that. What I want to talk about is just the way that Bungie mentions and talks about PvP when they talk about it. How they say certain things when they mention PvP. And one of the most reoccurring things, and this is even in Joe Blackburn's Twitter post, is that when Bungie always mentions PvP, they always mention it as that part of the game where you go test your gear against other players. And that's what I feel. That's just how Bungie feels about PvP as a whole, whether it be trials, whether it be Iron Banner, no matter what, is that it's just that side of the game that you go into just to test the loot that you get against other players. Bungie has never really ever taken PvP seriously. Taken King back during Destiny 1, and this was an era where I felt like PvP was kind of a big thing for them. That DLC alone had 9 Crucible maps, $40 expansion, right? $40 expansion on top of the crazy amount of PvE content that it got. It got 9 Crucible map. That's a huge amount. Of course, we went 2 years without getting any Crucible maps or any Crucible content here. But I don't think Bungie's ever going to take PvP seriously to the extent that some people want them to. And it's why I don't want to put in the time to get good at it, because I feel like I'm always setting myself up to be let down. I don't think Bungie... you got people like yourself, Maddox. You guys do scrims and stuff. You like to take the game competitively, but I don't think Bungie's ever gonna really care for that side of the game. And I know a lot of you guys do it mainly for fun and for practice and for trials and stuff like that. But I don't think Bungie's ever gonna really recognize that side of the game as part of Destiny. Crucible to them is literally just the playground that you go to test out the gear that you get in PvE or Gambit or anything like that. And every time I've seen them mention PvP, that's just how they mention it as. And when it comes down to trials, I don't really care for it, man. I don't really see Bungie putting in the effort to make me want to care about trials or PvP as a whole. So I step into PvP as a PvE player, whenever I get bored and stuff. And if I'm being 100% honest, when Halo Infinite comes out, I'm not touching Destiny's PvP unless there's a quest that tells me I have to. Unless Bungie wants to 180 and they want to prove to people that they care, even with Joe Blackburn's tweet, that Twitter thread means nothing to me because we've had nothing but words for the past 2 years and no actions whatsoever. We're going to need to see action before really taking Bungie up on their word. The Joe Blackburn Twitter thread was cool, but it's words at the end of the day. And it's the same words that we've heard before. A renewed focus on PvP. When Trials comes back, it's going to be insane. Yeah, it is pretty insane. You got people flying across the map with Infinite Colony. That's pretty insane in my opinion, but that's not what we were thinking.
Infinite Wardcliff and Nova Bombs.
Yeah, and we've heard enough words. I'm tired of hearing Bungie talk to us and give us these words that mean nothing at the end of the day. And it's only their own fault that they mean nothing because they haven't followed through with what they've said in so long. So in the current state, I don't care about PvP. I just can't. There's no way that I can take it seriously, but I want to. I used to have that spark. You know, I like Destiny's gunplay.
Dude,
it's good.
I feel this passion, man. I truly do.
It's good. Destiny's gunplay is really great. Destiny's PvP has been something that I always liked. If you go back to my old Destiny 1 videos, whenever the Taken King content drought happened, I don't know if you played Destiny 1 or not, but infamous period of the game, Taken King came out, tons of content, huge content drought. I considered myself a PvP main to the point where when Rise of Iron came out, I made a video titled A PvP Player's Thoughts on Wrath of the Machine. That's how into PvP I was at the time. And I've been into PvP in Destiny 2 as well, like I said with last season. I love it. I really, really do. But it doesn't feel like Bungie does. So if Bungie's not going to give it the love, why should I? I'll just take my attention elsewhere. I'm going to go play Halo Infinite. That game is built from the ground up for PvP, and it sure is is a hell of a lot more fun than dealing with cheaters or dealing with a really crummy sandbox. And I know Bungie's doing their hardest to tweak and balance things, but we dealt with the stasis the way that it was for like half a year. How is that acceptable in any way, shape, or form for a huge portion of your game to have to deal with this $40 paywall that's freezing you every 5 seconds you go into the playlist? You have to deal with that for so long. Does Bungie really care about PvP? I'm not going to take their word for it. I'm going to need to see some actions before I really even whatsoever invest into anything, in regards to PvP. So that it's regardless of what they do to Trials, it's mainly how they want to treat PvP as a whole going forward for me. Right. And that's mainly what's going to get me back into the playlist.
Hell yeah, dude, you're spitting. I love it.
That boy's spitting.
He is spitting.
Yeah, I mean, you said nothing but facts, in my opinion. Like, yeah, I agree with you. Like, you can tell there's passion with the way that you're talking, because you used to play this game mode and stuff like that, and it's gotten you to a point where you just can't enjoy it anymore, no matter who you play with, no matter this and that. So I feel you. I can only hope for better things in the future, with season 15.
I really hope so. I really do.
I can only hope for what they're saying to finally come, with an action. So
100%.
I'm very optimistic. I always hope for the best, but like you said, like we've gone through this period of just nothingness and just nothing but words on a screen, and I can only hope for now season 15 and even Witch Queen as well too, for those words to become actions, Yeah,
so. And I do want to say that what Blackburn said, what he said was good, and if what he said turns into actions, that's good. He kind of low-key confirmed that Bungie was basically just giving the hand to PvP for 2 years. They basically just said, hey, we didn't really have a PvP team, lol XD, whatever. But what he did say is that Bungie is getting back in the saddle for PvP, and they're just what he basically alluded to is that they're just getting started. And it's going to take some build up. It's going to take a little bit for them to get fully chugging. But, over time, we're going to get some Destiny 2 maps back. We're going to get a Destiny 1 map, and then we're going to start getting new stuff, Rift. And they said what we want you to experience and what we want you to expect, guaranteed, is new maps and modes every year. And that's what we've been needing. So if that comes to fruition, and of course, Bungie's sandbox team can hopefully stay on top of things, and we don't have another stasis issue where a subclass stays overtuned for like half a year straight. Then I think we're in good waters, and then I'm really, going to enjoy the PvP in Destiny. But Halo Infinite, just opened my eyes to it just made me realize it's like, man, like why would I play Destiny 2's PvP, man? I mean, this game right here, it's made for PvP aside from the campaign, but like that's a big part of Halo. Of course, it's an esport, and the main thing is Bungie used to make Halo. They know what they're doing. If they want to do something correctly, they can do it. They've done it in the past. They've made one of the biggest, competitive shooters of all time. They can do it for Destiny 2. And the most frustrating part is that they haven't as of yet. But if Blackburn, what he said comes true, and they really mean what they said, and they're going to turn those words into actions, then I think you and everyone else, even if you're not a PvP main, are going to be sitting in good waters, because we'll experience that variety with maps. We'll get the variety of modes. We'll get the reworks that we need, and the fundamental core changes that the mode as a whole needs. It just needs that love and care, and it can be one of the best PvP experiences in any FPS.
I hope so. Like I said, I can only be optimistic. So all I know is season 15 or whatever this is, whenever season 16 comes out, Witch Queen, just catch me in Rift, okay? I'm gonna be dunking on some fools. All right,
dude. I really,
I can't wait.
Really look forward to Rift.
Can't wait to play some old content. I'm so excited. About
Yeah. Old content, bro.
What can we say?
I can't wait.
I'm not
can't wait for the one
new
map. It's gonna be freaking awesome after Witch Queen.
Dude, it's just like we could have had a Europa map. We could have had a map based off of the Vex, simulation thing that we got going this season. Like Bungie, I mean, they did say that there are a lot of areas that they still need to explore with PvP maps and stuff. And just, man, I hope they do it, because you don't set the bar with things like Taken King or Forsaken, where we come to expect such and such from a $40 expansion, and then Beyond Light, we don't get anything. Well, in fact, we get less, right? But that's less to do with the DLC and more to do with the game as a whole. But how are you going to release a $40 expansion with no PvP content? That's just a kick in the nards, man. I'm not even a PvP main. I can only imagine how you guys feel that truly have way more passion than I do about the mode, because you play it every day. I mean, obviously, you love it to death. We all do, but people like yourself are like the backbone of that kind of community, man. And I just hope that what Blackburn said, everything comes true. They get in the saddle and they can hopefully, be pumping out more than a playlist weapon a season for Crucible, because it desperately needs it.
I agree, dude. That great conversation. Like I can tell the passion's there, and then, like I said, can only hope for the best. Season 15 is right around the corner. We have one more week. Next week we see TWAB about the new weapons and the changes with that. So I'm curious to see if some things are gonna get toned down. I know GLs. I'm really hoping for a thing about GLs. That's one thing I'm really hoping for. Is I think those definitely really need to be tuned down in PvP, to be exact. And I mean, they're really strong in PvE as well too. I'd like to see something kind of take advantage and kind of step into the limelight as well too. But I'm excited. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
No, I was just gonna say I'm just looking forward to the changes. I think there's more good than there is bad. Of course, like they're getting rid of some things that thank God, like geomags and such like that. But then other things are coming up, as well too, that might turn out to be a problem. We just don't know yet, so we'll see.
And we're almost, in a couple days, we'll be 1 week away from the Witch Queen announcement, which some creators were getting those little music boxes that have like I'm pumped about that. Although I have a freaking promotional shoot that entire day, so I might have to be like, hey, take a break for an hour so I can watch this stupid video. That's gonna be a fun episode to unbox whatever they tell us. I don't have my hopes high. I think it's probably gonna be like cool, but not as much info as I probably want. But I'm excited about it.
I'm scared because I think the Witch Queen reveal is gonna kick ass. If it doesn't, Bungie's in for a world of hurt, because this is the final deal, or presumably the final DLC in a trilogy. You got The Dark Below, starting with Crota, going on to the Taken King, and now we're finally at Savathûn after all these years. If you don't deliver, it's kind of an issue. I am scared that the season though is gonna be bad, because before Chosen, or before Splicer, for a matter of fact, every single season that Destiny has ever had, it's always been on a cycle. It's been good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. That's just how it's been since the inception. We had Season of Undying, it sucked. Season of Dawn was good. Season of Worthy, bad. Arrivals, good. Hunt, awful. Chosen, good. Then we got Splicer, and Splicer was good too. Splicer, you know, Chosen and Splicer back to back were pretty good seasons. Obviously, I'm talking from a PvE perspective as a whole, because that's where Bungie focuses their stuff. But you know, so we've had 2 seasons that have back to back been pretty good. What I'm scared for, though, is are we going to get a 3rd season that's going to deliver? I had a conversation with Above not too long ago about it, and he said that he thinks it's going to be good because if Bungie's going to try to sell Witch Queen, they don't want the game to be in a garbage state in the season before the new DLC. And that makes sense if you're trying to get your sales, but I mean, 3 banger seasons back to back, especially if we're going to especially if this season's going to be 6 months or half a year
that's
long
what
of a
I'm scared
season.
of.
Are you going to be able to deliver? I mean, I don't think it's possible.
There's
so
gotta
I'm
be,
worried.
There has to be, and and just talking from like a standpoint of like the time stamp we have here, we have from August 24th to February, like sometime January, February of one season. There's got to be something in between, like a maybe a 3 months down the road we get a dungeon or something like that. Like the way that the weeks change each week, like how it has this season of Splicer. There's been something new each week, whether it's a story mission, whether it's the storyline in general, like this past week where we've had the whole epilogue. I'm curious to see how they keep our attention throughout these next 6 months, you know, leading into Witch Queen. Like you were saying, we don't want a bad game going into the biggest DLC they've had in a year and a half. So
I mean, they did okay with Arrivals with, like, of course they had the new dungeon and stuff, but you know, they had things like farmable raids and stuff like that, which was a big thing. I mean, you know, you have these raids that are going away and you're like, you know what, we're going to take the cap off. You want anarchy? Farm Insurrection Prime 18 times in a row. Get anarchy, you know, farm for these armors, farm for this, farm for that. And that was a pretty cool thing at the time. And for me as a player, it kept my attention through the entire season because, again, you know, I left in Curse of Osiris. So I was going title hunting halfway through the season. I got Blacksmith, I got Reckoner, I got Shadow. Like, I was going ham. I was playing all the content that I missed. But now as a hardcore player, and especially for a lot of people in the community, how are we going to be entertained for 6 months? You know, I've had theories where, like, because this is a storyline that comes after Destiny 1, maybe Crota's End gets remastered as a dungeon at the beginning of the season. So everyone who didn't have a console or didn't play at that time get to experience killing the Son of Oryx. And then 3 months later, maybe we get King's Fall as a remastered raid. Bungie already said they want to fill out that Legends tab. Throw that in there. Why not? I mean, I'm fine with reoccurring content as long as it's not from Destiny 2 specifically. I personally don't want to see a Destiny 2 raid come back compared to a raid that's like a decade old at this point, like with Vault of Glass. So I would much rather see really old stuff come back. Obviously, we would all rather see new stuff, but at the end of the day, I don't think Bungie's capable of the new stuff. So if it comes between getting King's Fall as a remastered raid or nothing, I'm going to take King's Fall as a remastered raid every single time, because just like with Vault of Glass, I don't know about you guys, because, you know, again, I know you're a PvP guy. Vault of Glass was my least favorite raid in D1. It's one of my favorite raids in D2. I really like the way they remastered it. I don't like Master Version, but the raid itself, I think they did a really good job. It was really fun. Even though I've played it tons of times as a kid and in the past, it felt new to me, you know, despite having played it a bunch. So I really like the way that they did it.
I think they did very well with is the weekly things that changed. You had the weekly challenges that came out.
Every reason to log in.
You had the weekly time loss weapon that came out each week. That was what, 6 weeks of content that they had people coming back. You know, hey, you want your time loss Fatebringer? You gotta wait 6 weeks, buddy. Sorry. You know,
even if it kind of sucks, the content, you know, like one encounter for the week. I mean, hell, it got me on. You know, Tuesday reset. I was looking forward to it. I wanted my title and I wanted my Fatebringer and my Found Verdict and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but I mean, time gating it at least gave me a reason to touch the game and play it a little bit. So, I mean, I'd rather have a reason to play than no reason at all.
Agreed.
So, I mean, I don't know how they're going to pull it off, but maybe they might have like a bonus season. I don't know, or a season of health, kind of like Rainbow Six Siege had, where it's a whole season about quality of life changes and improvements.
Oh, we've already talked about that.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty
Season of quality, baby. We've spoken
Yes,
that for like the
sir.
past like 3 weeks. Yeah,
Dude,
I
I'm
mean,
wait-
like all the bug fixes and change like that would be fantastic. I'd love that.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, I
Like I
want
said,
season of the Eververse, dude. Get all that
we
content in the game.
stop that. Stop that.
Season of
We
Eververse.
want the game to be at its tip-top shape, whether that's physically, whether that's community-wise. We want it to be fantastic for Witch Queen. We want Witch Queen to be the highlight of Destiny 2, you know?
Oh yeah.
You know, the newest highlight, I guess you could say. Like, I have high hopes for it, and I can only be optimistic. I'm gonna still play it either way. So
100%.
Same.
Yeah.
I'll still be here chilling, playing it. We'll be here talking about it on Sundays.
talking about it each week.
Dude,
with
if
you
it's
guys.
good or bad, I'll be here with crippling depression. You know, mouse in hand. I will be farming strikes.
WASD, just
Dude.
press down.
Going in. Maddox is gonna be sitting there, sweat dripping off the forehead and
Oh,
Crucible, dude. Like it's gonna be insane.
No, dude, I'm happy for it. This game is fantastic. It's taken up enough years of my life. There's no reason to quit now. So,
Yeah.
but awesome, dude. Thanks for joining, man. That
Yeah,
was a
for real.
fantastic conversation. We just ran over a little bit of time here, but that's good because we've had a great conversation doing it. So,
Dude, it was
we
awesome.
appreciate
bro.
you joining, bro. It's been a fantastic time. I hope everybody that's been listening has had a great time listening and just had a great, just had your ears open because we've had a lot of good conversations tonight. But tell us again who you are, Mr. Joe, where you stream, what you do, your YouTubes, what do you have coming up here soon? What are you working on? Let us know, brother.
Dude, I'm a ginger on the internet. You know, the notorious DemonFrance, as many know me as. YouTube extraordinaire. You can find me at youtube.com/ I don't know what the URL is, but look up DemonJoeFrance on Google. You'll find what you need. And what do I have upcoming? I'm just waiting on the reveal. You know, YouTube content, pretty barren. So I'm just waiting on the reveal. I hope it's good. Just like everyone else. I mean, I'm a massive fan of the game. Yeah, I'm a content creator, but I'm a fan first, and that's the whole reason I make content on the game.
Absolutely.
And just like everyone else, I mean, I want it to do well, and I want to believe in Bungie and provide, input where I can and everything like that. But yeah, I just hope that Witch Queen delivers and the next season's good and everything in between.
Heck yeah, dude. It's going to be sick. I'm happy to have met you. Your beautiful hair and your awesome face and your fitness.
Can't go 10 minutes without talking about the looks, man. Oh, dude, it's okay, dude. Luke, I want to go to your house. I know you got COVID. I'm vaccinated, so I mean, maybe
Just come on over, bro.
Maybe I can get up in that beard, give a little tickle, or I don't know.
At least in like 4 more days you can, and then actually you can do it now. You can get COVID. You can just have the vaccinated version. It's not as bad out here. So. Here he comes. What if the door just opens?
Dude, he just comes right through your door. Oh my god, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine that. That'd be hilarious.
He's in his car right now. He's gonna pull Discord up in there. He's still gone. He's committed. All right, there he is.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious.
The commitment.
Dude, we were just waiting for you to come through his view on his camera. Oh my god, that'd have been hilarious.
Just walks
Yeah,
in.
the door was locked. Very unfortunate.
Oh shit. Allie so told you to get out.
Dude, I was
That's
banging
why.
on the door and nobody answered. I came back. So
Sorry
goodness.
afterwards. But hey, yo, Maddox, tell us where you
Absolutely,
just
brother.
tell us the stuff.
So, Twitch.tv/Maddox. Maddox on Twitch on everything else. I'm a scrim boy. You can come and join community scrims every Tuesday, Thursday. And then you can play trials with me on the weekends. And we've been recently doing an Apex ranked grind as well, too, with some friends. Speaking of friends, Mr. Frosty and my boy Hurt, we've been grinding Apex ranked, learning the new game, scratching that PvP itch, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, every Tuesday and Thursday, community scrims, anybody's welcome to join. I have my first, not my first, but my first, again, YouTube video coming out tomorrow.
yo,
Big
Restarting back on YouTube. I took a big break from it because I just didn't know what to do with it. So, but now I'm just gonna start creating just whatever content I want, PvP wise and such. So you can, again, Maddox on Twitch, on YouTube as well too. So, I'll
Are
see
you
guys
gonna
there.
Are you
I
gonna
appreciate
message me tonight for a thumbnail, or do you have that taken care of?
No, I'm gonna beg Frosty while I'm in VC. He just doesn't know yet.
There you go.
did we get a sneak peek as to what the video's
Finally,
gonna
I
be
got
about?
fired.
So this weekend, as you guys know, we had trials. I played trials with some homies, and it was a nice flawless game. Let's just put it that way. I got some memes in there.
Oh, yeah.
edited in there, so it'll be fun. So
Heck yeah, dude.
little nice little comeback you'll have to see. And but that's about it. That's all I got going for me right now.
Heck yeah, bro. Well, I'm Bearded Luke. I just moved into this house, so give me like one more week, people, and I'm going to make my return to content. I swear my life, it's gonna happen. I've been basically out of commission for 7 months, so I'm ready to get back in there, start playing this game, and make people smile. Find me at twitch.tv/beardedluke or youtube.com/beardedluke. I'm making a new review on this chair here because my most popular video is about a chair.
Dude, his tech reviews, fantastic.
Thanks. So, anyways, Joe, thank you so much for joining us. It was an honor to have you. Maddox, who's next week? Can we? You guys made it to the end. So who's next week?
As of last week, we didn't have a guest due to sickness, but it was CB Gray. We're gonna have CB Gray back on next week.
Heck yes.
If everything works out, so we get to talk to him about all the recent TWABs. We're less than a few days away from, less than a week away from the new reveal and such. So
it's hype.
It's gonna be massive.
We're
a few
coming.
days at that point. Yeah, next
It'll
week
be a couple days. Yeah.
20.
It'll be 2 days away.
Yeah. So we get to speak to him right before the big reveal. That's gonna be huge, and he's a big boy. I mean, he does a lot of YouTube content like my boy Joe here. So
it's gonna be amazing.
We get to talk, dude. I'm just excited. We met so many awesome people.
Yes,
including Joe as well.
It's my favorite part of doing this podcast. I don't even care about Destiny. Absolutely. I just like meeting people. Just kidding. I care.
Dude, and coaxing them to come over to your house. My God, it's like a dating sim for you on this podcast.
I have gone a little bit further than normal with you, but that's a good thing.
Oh, dude, listen. I've known Luke for over a year. I've never heard him say "kiss the homies goodnight" until tonight.
Dude,
that's all I'm saying. So you've done something to this man.
You gotta have a little bit of
stuck in that room.
I do have to ask one question, which I ask every week to every guest. Always, are you in a Destiny 2 clan?
Do you want to join my Destiny clan? Is that what you're asking?
I ask every single guest if I can join their clan.
Dude, you can absolutely
That's
join.
the best response he's ever gotten.
Someone said yes. Let's go.
It's just a clan of friends, bro. Join, dude. The clan is called Amber. The name comes from when I used to play Call of Duty as a kid. It was my old Destiny 1 clan. Dude, join up. We got homies. We play every single week.
Bam!
Bam!
Let's go.
Dude, you found yourself a new home.
It's the end of an era here, Luke.
I can't ask anymore.
No longer.
Yes, sir.
The people in chat are saying they already invited me earlier.
Yeah, McFlurry and Fries. He is my official recruiter for Amber Clan. I'm not even kidding. He recruits people for me.
Let's go.
Okay, sweet. That's all I had to ask. Thank you.
The Twitter announcement.
Coming in tomorrow morning.
Sign the contract. I'll send it over to
graphic.
Yes, I'll make a graphic. All right. Anyways, thank you so much, dude, for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Dude, it's awesome to be here. I really appreciate the invite.
We'll have you on again once we get through. We're basically gonna have everyone back on again because we can't get enough of you guys, but. In the future, we'll hit you up. Anyways, if you 100%. If you're listening, thanks so much for listening to this. If you're watching live, we love all of you. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're amazing. Anyways, you can watch all this, listen on all those spots after the podcast ends at some point next week. But we love you. This was another episode. This was episode 31 of the Destiny Nerds podcast. It's pretty crazy. Dude. We're making our way downtown. So, all right. I love all you dudes. Love you, chat. Love you, listeners. You're all amazing. We'll see you all next time. Have an amazing
Notice
night.
How he said dudes and only dudes.
And dudettes. And ladies and everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, people. And just everyone. We love all of you, okay? We'll see you guys next time. I love you. Bye.